Rear Admiral, a brief resume, disclosures. You reserve for a closed session. You may proceed.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, distinguished Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, Grand Commander of the other senators, the Special Advisor to the President on Senate Matters, Senator Bashir Lado, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Honorable Minister of Defense, His Excellency Badaru Abubakar. Good afternoon. I am Rear Admiral Ide Abbas, born on the 20th of September 1969 and hail from Kano State. I had my primary education at Gogora Primary School in Kano from 1974 to 1980. Thereafter, I proceeded to the Air Force Military School, JOS, from 1981 to 1986. I was enlisted into the Nigerian Defense Academy in September 1987 and passed out of the academy in 1993 and commissioned sub-lieutenant. I obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree in chemistry. In the course of my career, I have attended both mandatory courses and courses that enhanced my career. Notable among the courses I have attended the sub-technical course and the officer's long course specializing in above water warfare. So I'm an above water warfare specialist in the Nigerian Navy. I also attended my junior and staff courses at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Nigeria. I was also at the National Defense College here in Abuja for my strategic course. In the course of my career, I have held various appointments cutting across staff, instructional, and command appointments. I have served in various Nigerian Navy ships as a young officer. I also held the appointment of gunnery officer of Nigerian Navy ship Ohue. I was also an instructor at the Above Water Warfare School, where I specialized. And after that, I had the privilege of going back to my alma mater as the commanding officer of Bomber Battalion, Nigerian Defense Academy, where I played a pivotal role in shaping the next generation of Nigerian military officers who coincidentally are holding the ranks of lieutenant colonels today, most of them. I was also at JOS, Operation Safe Haven, as a sector commander, doubling also as the contingent, Nigerian Navy contingent commander. Thereafter, I had the privilege of also holding another command appointment at NIMASA, that's the Maritime and Safety Agency, as the Maritime Guard Commander, and my work there was to assist NIMASA in the enforcement of their rules and regulations, particularly helping in the arrest of erring vessels. Also, thereafter, I was appointed the task group commander of a task force which was purposely put in place to combat the menace of piracy, which was becoming a serious issue, particularly around the Bonny axis of our waters. And where within that, the period I commanded the task group, a lot of successes were recorded. I was also privileged to hold the appointment of a command admin officer at the headquarters Central Naval Command in Bayelsa. Thereafter, I was appointed as the commander of Nigerian Navy ship Victory in Calabar. As fate will have it, from Calabar, I was posted back to Yenegua as the Chief Staff Officer, Headquarters Central Naval Command, after a stint of about a year, I was reappointed the 12th Flag Officer of the same Central Naval Command, covering Bayelsa, Delta, Imo, Kogi, and Anambra states. I was also privileged to serve as the Director of Operations at the Naval Headquarters, where I oversaw the planning and execution of naval operations in maritime domain, as well as internal security operations across Nigeria. I was also privileged to have served as the Chief of Safety and Standards at the Naval Headquarters. From there, I was appointed the Chief of Defense Civil-Military Relations at the Defense Headquarters, from where I proceeded to Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center as a Senior Research Fellow. That is the current appointment I was holding before I was nominated as the Chief of the Naval Staff. Among my decorations, I hold the Forces Service Star, Distinguished Service Star, Grand Service Star, and lately, the Defense General Service Medal. I am a member of some professional bodies, amongst which are the Nigerian Institute of Management, Institute of Professional Security. So at my leisure, I enjoy playing hockey and driving. I am happily married and blessed with 2 sons.
Mr. President, sir, thank you very much for this privilege. I believe going through the CV, and even before the CV, I believe the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must have already satisfied himself that you have the formal training to enable you to do the job for which you have been nominated. And I think the nomination is the word, not appointment yet, because we have to confirm. But I find interesting some of the points made about de-radicalization. It doesn't matter whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, it's all armed forces. Given our experience in the past where some Boko Haram people who were captured, and to use the word of the chief of, I believe, Army staff, who talk about people who have committed heinous crime, be reintegrated. Not a few people wonder how you can describe, on the one hand, somebody, a heinous criminal who has killed and maimed children and women, that you can reintegrate him into the larger society. And many have argued that some of those people in the process take advantage to familiarize themselves with the new environment and go back to what they have been doing, which then defeat the entire effort that you have put in apprehending them in the first instance. So this whole concept of de-radicalization is an issue for me. And Mr. President, you just took it from my lips, sir, that I think the Navy has a good role to play. From all that I've heard from people who know you, I understand you can fairly be described as a no-nonsense officer. And therefore, the Navy will be under your command in very good hands. I am clear about that. But what will you do to ensure that these leakages that we still experience in oil bunkering, our president has rightly asked this question, because there are a lot of mixture now between Navy and other non-state actors involved in protection of our oil wells. And then lastly, the issue of, recently we had proposal for setting up of a marine guide. And the House was divided whether we need to have another outfit specifically devoted to water security in addition to the Navy, or whether is it not better to re-equip the Navy and strengthen it so that we have the capacity to further reinforce what it's already doing to protect Nigerian waters across the country. Thank you, Mr. President, sir.
Yes, sir. So I will take the questions randomly. Some are related to each other. I will start with the last question asked by distinguished Senator Olamilekon, that what measures do I intend to put in place to curb criminalities in the maritime environment? What I will do is, already we have existing structures towards curbing maritime crimes. What we shall do is to look at what is currently existing, and what I intend to do is to further incorporate more of technology, that is the use of drones. We already have what we are doing. We are going on patrols. At times, some of these patrols don't really yield positive results because of the nature of some of the locations. Aside from that, resources are being wasted in fueling some of these boats to get to where these criminalities are happening but cannot proceed further. So what I intend to put in place to further enhance what we are doing now is the use of technology, and that is drone. That is what I intend to put in place. The answer to distinguished Senator Wadada, sir, your question borders on giving attention to the inland waterways, and your concern is the window between Benue and Lokoja. And so I think the answer to this, we have a solution already. We have established a special operations command with headquarters in Benue State, Makurdi, sir. So this is going to be used to challenge that, sir. Thank you, sir. Then, sir, to distinguish Senator Oshiomohle's questions. There are 3 questions here. I will start with the last one, and that is the issue of Coast Guard, whether there is any need for it. Sir, categorically, I will say we don't need that, because the Nigerian Navy is already doing that with what we have. One of our roles is Coast Guard duties, which is what we are doing. Creating another agency to do that work, it would be a duplication of function. Rather, I would advise that even if it is half of the funds that are going to be used to establish the Coast Guard, it can be used to enhance the platform availability of the Nigerian Navy. So, sir, my take is we don't need to have any Coast Guard. We are already doing that job. Thank you, sir. Then leakages caused by oil theft and illegal bunkering. Sir, we are aware of this, and like I said, most of where these illegalities are happening are hard to reach areas. And I can say those are minimal thefts, but which, if accumulated, amount to a large volume. At least out at sea, we are able to block the usage of large oil tankers, which hitherto were usually anchored at high sea, and smaller vessels are used to fuel them with the stolen cargo. So we are looking at this also. The use of this same drone technology and other technologies will help us block this more. Then, sir, the first question, the issue of de-radicalization. I totally agree with the Chief of Army Staff nominee's opinion. De-radicalizing the repentant criminals is a good way forward, but what of the moral burden? These are people that have killed, have maimed, and been integrated back into the society, to my mind, may remind relatives and family members of those that they have maimed to think in another direction. Those are to my own opinion, the radicalization of repentant criminals will be looked into and tweaked. And if I may advise, before such is done, if families have been identified that have lost their members through those people, there is need to contact them, talk with them if they accept for those people to be granted that amnesty after the radicalization. Then to the first question by distinguished Senator Dafinone concerns what plans do I have for the Navy in view of the emerging challenges and with relation to other services. So we already have our total spectrum maritime strategy, which covers various areas of our operations. So we are looking at that, and one of the challenges even that we are faced with now is that of kidnapping, banditry, oil theft. So the total spectrum maritime strategy of the Nigerian Navy takes care of these various layers of challenges, and my belief is we cannot do it alone, and hence we have to work together. It is a whole of society approach, and particularly for us, the armed forces, we have to synergize, whether we like it or not. That is the only way out that we can get out of the problems our country is facing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, the nominee. Is it the view of the wait for the closed session? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Well done. Proceed.